I won a knife fight and survived. No ambulance, didn't even have a knife. Kid was a flipping moron pussy though. I ducked under when he slashed at me and he got me across the shoulder blades. Double leg takedown and he landed on the back of his head. The end. I had certainly antagonised him enough to sort of deserve it, so I cleaned up my cut and butterfly bandaged it and called it a day. It's a pretty wicked scar though, more like a sword got me since it was never stitched up right. That happened. That's lucky. Most self-defense classes have a saying for knife fights. There are two kinds of people in knife fights, the ones who die in the street and the ones that die in the back of the ambulance. Yeah, I survived a knife fight and the first thing I did was come to Reddit to brag. Sounds realistic. Right, so today we're on r/thathappened, a collection of posts from people who tell stories that are definitely not true. At Sainsbury's checkout, woman stands about 12 inches behind me, no mask on. Move back a bit, I say. I'm exempt, she cries. I just asked you to move back, or are you exempt from social distancing too? I calmly replied. Round of applause breaks out from adjoining checkout. Wow, she really wrote this like an English essay. Also, this is probably in the UK because it's in Sainsbury's. If someone started clapping in the UK, everyone would just turn around and be like, what the hell are you doing? My 5-year-old just said to me, we have a new king, mom. His name is Jesus. The devil tried to be our king, but he is not allowed to. Only King Jesus. Then he started singing the Hallelujah chorus. Perspective. Bro, when I was 5, I used to stick rainbow drops up my nose. This kid's becoming a full church preacher. I use all kinds of drugs, but appear totally normal to everyone I know. Not even my closest friends know. I smoke meth and use Adderall daily, and then a load of other drugs that I'm not going to name, otherwise I'm going to have to censor them all. Usually, I have all sorts of different drugs in my possession at all times. I appear completely normal, square even. No one has a clue about my using, even my best friends. People at work call me the innocent one. I hate when people boast and brag about their drug use, so I keep quiet and don't even chime into conversation about it. I'm even in a vigorous college program and no one suggests a thing. Why would you tell such an obvious lie? Like, you know, daily meth usage is a pretty easy thing to hide. I'm at school writing this and something crazy just happened. So I was listening to this during social studies, you know, just doing my own thing. I noticed the Fat Rat uploaded a new song, so I thought, why the hell not? He is one of my favourite musicians after all. I must have been playing it for like a minute and then someone shook my shoulder and gestured for me to take my earbuds off. He was telling me everyone in the class could hear my music because my earbuds weren't fully inside my phone. I looked at the entire room and everyone was just rocking their heads to the music. My mind went blank. I must have been blushing super hard. Haha, I've never been so embarrassed, but happy at the same time. When I stopped the music, they just told me to keep playing it until the end. Hashtag feels good, man. Hold on, I've never heard of the Fat Rat, so I'm going to go and listen and I'll give you my opinion. Right, well, it sounds like the sort of music you'd hear on Roblox. I definitely don't condone it, but if your entire class heard you listening to this, you would almost definitely get bullied into oblivion. Under a craziest thing that happened in high school post. In my middle school 7th grade year, I threw a chair at my social studies teacher and she pressed charges and I was arrested in first period. Even if this did happen, why the hell would you brag about it? Yeah, I physically assaulted my teacher when I was 13. I got pulled over just now and the flipping cop hit on me and was trying to get me to go on a date with him. And I turned his butt down and got a ticket. Can you say salty ass bitch? Just for context, she has lied about everything from pregnancy to cancer. This is just par for the course. Why do you still follow this person on Twitter? After she lied about pregnancy and cancer, I would just block her. I was about 9 when I saw 2 boys in early teens smoking and yelled to them, "You know those will kill you?" And they replied, "You want to come down here and repeat that?" Nah, I like the idea of you dying before me. You were a badass 9-year-old. Everything except your last reply is believable. I was about to reply with an r/thathappened. Yeah, no 9-year-old in the world is that brave. Went on a virtual social last Friday. My ex was there. Question came up. What was the first Disney movie ever to be released? Answer come round, Snow White, and my ex pipes up with, "How is that the correct answer?" She says with confidence to the quizmaster, "It's actually Steamboat Willie." I quickly hop on the mic, "May I interject? It's actually Snow White. Steamboat Willie is the first Disney animated short. Snow White is actually the first Disney animated movie. You are wrong. Whole call goes wild. I stay cool. She leaves the Zoom call out of embarrassment. 'Twas a good night. TLDR, Disney knowledge is cool. TLDR, no it most certainly isn't. And you know what, it was actually fairly believable until you said the whole call goes wild. I can't imagine in any situation 30 people getting excited because some guy knew the first Disney movie to be released. It just doesn't sound likely. My life has reached a new level of awkward. I was singing, yelling robbers by the 1975 obviously, and the neighbours called the cops saying that someone was in the house screaming about a gun. I can't. Is your singing really that bad that your neighbours think this was a cry for help? Jesus Christ, maybe you need singing lessons. The audacity of the rich. I'm a nomadic anarchist, but others would call me homeless, got an infection and needed antibiotics. It cost $35 flipping or I'd lose my arm. I tried to panhandle a guy with a Ferrari. The guy spit on my bloody bandages and told me to get a job. I understand I do this by choice, but most homeless are not by choice. I seriously wanted to throw a brick through dude's windshield. I restrained myself, but I can't believe the audacity of these rich guys sometimes. Hold on, so you're homeless and don't have $35, but you have a phone and internet access? Now obviously you could go to the library or something to do this, but if you're nomadic, you wouldn't. So I used to work for an Audi car dealership. Most of our clients are educated, high net worth individuals. This lady came in and bought a brand new Audi S8 for like 170k or somewhere around there. A couple of days go by and my co-worker receives a frantic call from the lady. She's super angry and accusing us of selling her a lemon. She tells my co-worker that her brand new Audi just died on the highway and she is stuck in the middle of nowhere. She's very upset. So my co-worker decides to troubleshoot. He asks her what warning lights are showing on her dash. Is the engine light on? Is the oil indicator on? Are the lights yellow or red flashing? She says no warning lights are on, just that the engine chokes and will not turn on. So my co-worker asks her, what does your gas tank show? Is it full or empty? Is the fuel gauge all the way to the left or right? She looks at the gauge and tells him that the gauge is on the letter E. He says, "Ma'am, you run out of gas. That's why you're experiencing the issue." The old lady answers back, "Ran out of gas? What do you mean I ran out of gas? Do you think I'm stupid? Those sorts of things only happen in movies, not in real life." We called Audi roadside and they came to put some gas in her car. This woman is a high profile lawyer who makes over 800k a year, yet she did not realise that cars run out of gas. People are idiots. Hold on, so you're telling me a $170,000 Audi doesn't have a low petrol indicator? You know, something that dings and tells you that your petrol's low? Yeah, I'm sure this is believable. And also, this woman has never been to a gas station in her life? True. When I was 11, I had to go to a magic grid for maths homework. I spent 2 hours solving the bugger, only to get to school and have the teacher tell us it was impossible. And if you think you've got the answer, you don't. I timidly put my hand up and made her look like a fool as I dismantled her maths and teaching degree with my barely out of primary school education. Don't mean to brag, but when you've not achieved a lot, you wait for moments like this. This must be a terrible teacher if she's assigning you impossible homework. What sort of teacher does that? I'm going to give you homework that you cannot solve, and therefore doesn't teach you a thing. Kid leading queue stinks of weed. Karen behind him starts throwing digs. Karen, can't get people who do drugs. Each to their own and all that, but it just makes no sense to me. Yep, one of those please. Yep, red thank you. All I need is a bottle of wine and I'm happy. Me behind. Alcohol is a drug. Karen, confused, speechless and pointing at the bottle like she's just met the Dalai Lama. So it is. I suppose we all have our graces. Most classic Karen comment I have heard recently, while queuing in my local shop today. This guy really just compared himself to the Dalai Lama for pointing out that alcohol is a drug. Yeah, I bet that shut Karen up. In 12th grade, we were reading Romeo and Juliet, and we were at the romantic ass balcony scene, and this hot girl in class volunteered to read Juliet's part. And I put my hand up to volunteer for another part, and the teacher goes, "Oh, do you want to be the nurse?" And I was like, "No, I want to be Romeo." And the hot girl swiveled around in her seat to give me a look. TM. She and I later ended up making out at a bunch of parties in university. I thought Romeo and Juliet was a tragic love story, but now I've heard this, it's completely changed my mind. I once yelled at my class, cussing them, insulting everyone on a personal level, and the teacher just stood there, shacking his head. After I was done, he said he agreed with all my statements. That included me calling 3 girls whores, 6 guys retards, 1 non-binary a freak of nature, and many more. Yes, and then a day later this teacher was fired. I was out shopping with my 2 children, both unvaccinated, and I overheard a conversation between 2 couples about how foolish anti-vaxxers are. I immediately turned round and joined in by informing them that vaccines are proven to cause autism, cancer, and increase the risk of homosexuality, and that they need to understand what big pharma companies want: money. They didn't listen, and eventually grew aggressive, and they threatened to call security if I didn't leave them alone. My son, who is only 2 by the way, never vaccinated, and he's proud, walked up and said, "If they want to die, let the government kill them. It's survival of the fittest after all." They were both silent and had nothing more to say. I turned around and saw an old woman observing. She looked at me and said, You've raised him well. My husband died of cancer brought on by vaccinations. And she smiled. I smiled back and walked off. I've never been so proud of my boy. Anti-vaxxers making stuff up? Surely not. This can never happen. But honestly though, a 2-year-old, a freaking 2-year-old, if you're gonna make up a story, at least make it a tiny bit more believable by saying the kid was like 10. I love when store owners tell me to put on a mask and I tell them no. They tell me to leave and I say no. I tell them to call the police on me if it's a problem. My favourite moment is when they pick up the phone and go, "I'm calling," and I reply, "Okay, I'll be standing right here." I claim for Psalms 27:9, "Hide not thy face far from me," to the cashier, and they put the phone down. I smile and walk out after making my purchase. Start exercising not only your constitutional right, but also using scripture in the real world. It's a dangerous combo. Do you know what's also a dangerous combo? Your brain and your ego. You just need to shut up. Walks into a fair to be told to put a mask on by police unless I'm eating. Barber has a bowl of lollipops on the countertop. Slowly moves towards bowl of freedom while they check other people. Yeah mate, I'm eating, see? Whole barber store laughs uncontrollably. 2 police realise masks don't stop the spread of anything as they breathe highly exaggerated sighs of pissed off air through their own masks. Hashtag loophole acquired. I'm glad to see we found another story, boys. Another anti-masker has a heroic day. Everyone clapped, but this time even the police looked like idiots. Story time! So, today I was in Starbucks and gave my name as Hermione Granger. And then, when they called my drink, a handsome boy was staring at me. And when I was about to ask him why he was staring at me, they called his drink under the name Draco Malfoy. And then he walked by me and said Mudblood, and then gave me his number and winked. And the barista started crying and said 10 points to Gryffindor and Slytherin and gave us both free pastries. Apparently this was found on a people who think liking Harry Potter is a personality trait Facebook page. And all I have to say about this is 100% true. I was there when it happened. I was Draco Malfoy. I may not be the best looking guy, I'm prematurely balding and I'm starting to get a little bit of a gut, but I know how to talk to women. I get more hot chicks than anyone you know. I was at a club and there was this smoking hot girl at the bar and I guess her boyfriend had just left her and she's crying, so like a cat moving on its prey. Oh Jesus Christ dude, that's not a good simile. I go up to her and say, "Do you believe in love at first sight or should I walk past you again?" She starts laughing right away. Then I say, "Well, here I am. What are your other 2 wishes for the genie?" She's laughing so hard, I know I'm in. I say, "Do you remember me?" "Oh, that's right. I've only met you in my dreams." That was it. I bought her a drink. Within 10 minutes we were making out. We did the deed about an hour later, and I saw her a couple more times until she saw all the other women's phone numbers I had on napkins and pieces of paper in a drawer in my kitchen. I guess she thought we were exclusive. This is pretty much a weekly thing for me. It's all a matter of knowing how to talk to women and being confident. I should teach a class. Bro, this guy really thinks he's living in an early 2000s teen movie. If you walk up to a girl and say, "Do you believe in love at first sight or should I walk past you again?" you're either getting the police called on you or slapped. There's no other outcome. Anyways, that's all for r/thathappened today. If you did enjoy, don't forget to subscribe or click another video on screen now. But until next time, peace.